We got the cat hanging out. Oh my goodness. Look at that. They're all friends. They're all hanging out. Monkey just realized it. She's like, oh no. Why is this cat next to me? Oh, why would you do this to me? Oh, it's the worst. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Monday. Hype date number 25. Blew right on by. We didn't get any information about anything. No notices, no news, no nothing. But you know what? Tomorrow's another hype date. So, gird your loins and batten the hatches and prepare to be disappointed yet again, because that's what we do around here. We get all stoked and then we get disappointed, and then that is it. What else we got? Dog and cat. The big old meeting with all the generals is coming up with Pete Hegseth. News reports came out that Pete Hegseth is basically losing his mind, that he's like increasingly manic and paranoid. And, oh well. Definitely has not stopped drinking, I can tell you that much. Mariners, they're going to the playoffs, baby. They're going playoffs, baby. So, you know, everything's all right over here in Seattle town. Trump sending troops to Portland. Sounds like Wolf might be going under, which is one of those like giant market makers or guarantors for, what is it? Securities, things like that, Monkey, equities. Yeah. Reports coming out for that. Kathy Wood thinks the economy's going to do well, so it's definitely going to implode. Yeah, if there's anything else you guys can give it to me. It's Monday, so let's do the Monday thing. Let's clickety clack and do the hooty booby, right? We're gonna just hit that guy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, intro off. All right. Well, I can see that Lyco Crypto is first with a boo, but then there's super chat from Mike Housen. Mike Housen says, "Hey Houston, I believe you mentioned a book written about the Canadian government's secret war with the Beers Corporation. Do you recall the name of that book? Left is Best." Oh. I read a whole bunch of them all in succession because this is, you know, like 2008, 2010, in that era. Somewhere in there is when I like did my first diamond mining missions, and I got really kind of obsessed with like the Kelsey Lake diamond mine, how that shut down. Let's see here. There's one that's like, it's called Ice into Fire, Fire into Ice. Fire. Ah, crap. There is what's it called? Oh, it was something like Fire into Ice. Then there's one that was like Barren Lands. There was one that was like Last Empire. What's the other one? There was Last Empire, Heartless Stone. And honestly, I don't remember which ones had it. Maybe a couple of them that talk about it. But I like read one after the other and got as much like De Beers history and diamond mining history as possibly could. And those are the ones I can think of. I read a whole bunch of like articles and magazines I read too, but those are 15 years ago and I don't remember the names of those. I got them all at the library. I just like checked out every diamond related book at the library. So hopefully your library still carries them or has access to them. Barren Lands, Last Empire, Fire into Ice or Ice into Fire. I can't remember which way that goes. And the Heartless Stone. Those are the four names I can remember. Try those. Library it up. Cameron Mirza, Super Chats. Monkey Treat, also Pulte Housing being sued for cracks and houses falling apart. Each house costs $1 to $1.5 million. I saw that. It was Lake Las Vegas Ridge. And basically they like scooped out all the soil. And then they laid down bunch of like sand and gravel to level it out, but they didn't actually like tamp it down to make sure it settled. And so they built the houses on top of this, and now the houses are all like slipping and sliding, and they're just like splitting in the middle. And these like, a lot of retirees bought these houses, and they're like trying to shuffle around on floors that are cracking and breaking, and homes are splitting in half and like falling down a slope. And yeah, if you're gonna buy a new build, always get an inspection. Always make sure they warranty and guarantee their work, because you're gonna get crap like this. The houses have like split in half, and they're sliding at a rate of like an inch a year up there. It's pretty wild. And monkey treat. Show a monkey treat? Yeah, right off the bat. Right off the bat, some big old chicken. Some big old chicken for the monkey dog. Where you going? Monkey. Hey, no. Hey. Right here. It's up there. It's on your bed. What are you gonna do? It's right there. You gotta get it. You gotta get up on your bed and get it. Yeah. The cat's gonna get it if you don't. There you go. Shall we do it again, monkey? Cat was like, oh. Yeah, chew that sucker up. And once you get off your bed, there's no reason for that, because you're all snuggled up with the kitty cat. So, that's a very chewy one. You're definitely taking your time on that one. Monkey had an awesome day yesterday. We went up to the mountains to my friend's house. They just built, and we hung out in their yard, and they had delicious Asian pears. The monkey chased a whole bunch of squirrels, and then we walked into town and got lunch, and it was a good time. I think she rolled around in some like elk poo. Had just a great dog time. Absolute best. She's very tuckered today, which is why having her jump off the bed is a dumb idea, because it took her like so long to get back up there. You're a sore dog, aren't you? Okay. Let's see here. All right, Leco Crypto, boohoo. Lisa Saw, woo. Corporate Walnut, what's the most unpleasant thing you are willing to do today to light this candle tomorrow? Unpleasant thing? I could break my finger. Does that work? I mean, I'm sure what level of unpleasantness. You have to throw it out there and tell me if I'm willing to do it or not. Because in my brain, I like being pleasant or having pleasant things. So, yeah, I don't know. Throw it out there. At least I saw. Did the mega crowd infiltrate the Ryder Cup? $70 entrance fee, get drunk on $15 beer, and hurl personal homophobic and sexist insults to the visitors? Yes, they did. They did, and they were weird and racist and xenophobic, and then they lost. So then the entire Ryder Cup team tormented Trump by asking him if he watched. Did you watch Donald Trump? So yeah, good job, xenophobic, racist Americans. And Lisa saw Eric Adams is out of the New York City race. He's rushing to catch a flight on Turkish Airlines. Is he out? I know that some like Keem Jeffries just like endorsed him. So is he out? Eric Adams out of race. Yeah, Eric Adams bans re-election bid. Oh, holy crap! How come I didn't read this last night? Huh. I mean, it's going to give a boost to Cuomo, because Eric Adams and Cuomo appealed to the worst people in New York, and there's plenty of them. But he'll probably still be on the ballot at this point, be my guess. So there'll still be people casting votes for him, even because people don't pay attention to things. So, yeah. Although Trump did probably violate Article 2 conventions of Article 2 of Constitution by interfering with the race today, with the comments he made about Mamdani in his Truth Social post. So that's another norm that has been busted. Polestar, what would the cash on hand be for GameStop if they absorb the Knowles, or if they merge with Overstock, BBBY? Thinking more about that $30 price. Well, the cash on hand probably wouldn't really change. My guess is they spent the money already for all those shares. So they probably would still have, $9 to $11 billion if the warrants trigger, right? And if they absorb Bed Bath, the overstock Bed Bath. They'd have another 500 million on top of that. I'm not sure what their debt load is at BBBY. BBY overstock debt load. Beyond the company acquired. Okay, that's not telling me at all. Now it's just telling me like old Bed Bath stuff. I don't want old Bed Bath stuff. I want the current Bed Bath. This is why things get so confusing when you absorb somebody else's ticker and name. It's because, okay. Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay. That's also the old Bed Bath. I don't want anything from 2023. BBBY debt. Okay. That is also the wrong BBBY. Gosh dang it. Stupid absorbing other people's tickers. They give me like all the stuff from 2023. I don't want 2023. I want current. Can I just do minus 2023? Okay. Is this the new one? Or is this the old one? Alpha query. Got it. Okay. Debt to equity. Bed Bath and Beyond. 926. Free cash flow. Well, they're losing money currently. Turnover. Turn assets. What's the actual debt load, though? Operating cash flow. Free cash flow. Return on investment. Turn, days. Blah, blah, blah. No metrics. Cash. They have 300 million in cash on hand. I am not seeing operating expenses, cost, revenue, normalized tax, solid net income, weighted average shares outstanding, earnings per share, current assets, long term, current liabilities, long term. There you go, long term liabilities, current liabilities. They only have a couple $100 million in debt, looks like. So they would still have. I mean, if Bed Bath, current Bed Bath, reaches their $15.50 price target, they'd make enough money to pay off all their debt. So that's not too bad. So they would, if Genie absorbed everybody, they'd have about $11 billion, more or less. Karen Mirza, Toronto Blue Jays. Well, I mean, you're Canadian, you have one team to root for. I totally understand you rooting for it. But then you're going to face the Mariners and get absolutely blown out of the water again. Because what happened last time? Belgian whale just arrived in Milos, Greece. Let the price action begin. How's the weather there? I just saw like video of huge flooding somewhere in Greece. I don't really pay attention to where Greece is, a large enough place. And there's also giant flooding going on in Spain again that's just ravaging the area. So hope you have nice weather there, Belgian whale. Stephanie L. Super Chats. What would be the best thing Dems could do if they win back the House and Senate? Could they stop ICE? Could they bring back Medicaid? Impeach? Well, they could impeach. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd be able to convict. But they can always just do the show and impeach him. I think the best thing to do is you impeach a whole bunch of like Kash Patel and RFK Jr. You get rid of those guys. You impeach those guys, get them out of there, have them be gone. You pursue, you launch independent prosecutor to investigate all sorts of stuff. Because there's a lot of crimes going on in the Trump administration that are basically just everyone's ignoring because there's nobody doing the investigating. So there's no one to do it. I would look at possibly impeaching, some members of the Supreme Court. Like, just make it hell. You have to fight. You have to make it hell. You have to go down at least swinging. Because if you just lay there and take it, if you just like Hakeem Jeffries and you go on, MSNBC and you're like, we're really hoping Republicans do the right thing. They've never done the right thing in their lives. So hoping that they're going to do it, just hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Because like you have to be absolute ignoramus to assume that these people are going to do anything good for anybody but themselves. They're not. They're not going to do that. They are the party of like going out of their way to hurt people, and they get off on that. And I think they like hurting their supporters more than anyone else, because that's who's really taking the brunt of all this. The farmers, we got counties in Nebraska that went like plus 57 for Trump, who are just going bankrupt because they can't sell their soybeans to anybody. And, all their farm workers are gone. So that what they do have can't even get picked. So, yeah. Probably the one thing at the grocery store the price is just plummeting is soy. Right, dude? Yeah, that's right. That's right, you little dog. So yeah, they could probably get rid of the budget for ICE if they really wanted to. Though they would require Trump signing that unless they can get a supermajority somehow. Man, if anything, you just got to start throwing up roadblocks to stop legislation, to stop things from getting worse until you can get somebody else into the White House, and that's what they got to do. And so, yeah. Okay. Striker 747, will RC dilute GME at $32 again, or will he let it run? That is a good question that Ryan Cohen should have to answer for everybody, because we honestly don't know. Will he? I don't know. I mean, they want to raise the $2 billion. They need to get the price well above $32 in order for people to be able to afford to exercise those warrants. If the price gets to $32, there's no point in exercising warrant at $30. We want to wait till the price is like 2-3 times that. Then you can sell a few warrants, use that cash to then exercise the rest of them. So he's really got to let it run past 32, and has to run past 32 for a significant number of days so folks can do those trades. Because no one has the cash to do that. I don't have the cash to exercise the warrants I'm going to receive. I'm going to receive 200 warrants, and to exercise them is going to cost $6,000+. I don't have that. So I'm going to have to rely upon price action to be so high that I can sell a chunk of my warrants and then execute the rest of them. That's my only play, and that's the play for most people. Most of us do not have the excess cash to do that, so he's got to let it run. And if he doesn't, then I don't know what the hell he's doing as CEO. I honestly don't. Impulse Star says, if he dilutes the 32, that'd be the biggest kick in teeth. Yep. So he's sure he'll do it. Can I read? Happy birthday, HW. Labor Department won't be releasing data, including Friday's key jobs report in case of shutdown. Plus, Trump administration would just revise the numbers next month. It's also true. We did see that the Dallas Federal Reserve noted that manufacturing was minus 8.7 when a projection was supposed to be -1. So manufacturing is getting even worse than projected, and it was already pretty bad. This is basically the biggest retraction of manufacturing since COVID, and it's probably biggest since the Great Depression, in all honesty. We are retracting. We had the biggest growth in manufacturing since World War II during the Biden administration. And now we're going the exact opposite direction because no one wants our shit. And what stuff we do make, we gotta get materials from outside the country, and it costs too much to make, and so we can't even compete anymore. Not even against the normal tariffs. So it's stupid. We're just a bunch of dummies, and that's what we are. Polestar insert meme of monks purposely getting hit in the groin over and over. Yes. Oh, I forgot to put that on multi-stream. There we go. Sorry, the 5 viewers over on Twitch. I forgot to put it on multi-stream so I can't see what you're saying. Can I read? Reverse repo in Canada is showing signs of stress, liquidity drying up. It's drying up here in the US, while regular repo is getting bigger. Yeah, man. Nah, I think dilution is over with. It's time for it to run. Let's see how things look from October 7th. Let's hope. In Polestar, you should watch the newest John Oliver last week tonight. Really shows how the U.S. is controlled by Israel. And those news conferences today with BB, super cringe. Yeah. We may have to start looking at political donations by people with dual citizenships, offices being held by people with dual citizenships. I'm generally like to think of myself not as like a xenophobe type person, but there is something to be said about dual loyalty when you're running for office and holding office and donating to office holders. So like pick one, either US or whatever. Maybe that's the solution. I don't know. But we definitely do have some issues with people in office who have dual citizenship with a certain country who seem to not be doing things in the best interest of this country with their jobs. Lisa saw. I got the USA ESTA visa waiver thing last week. It comprises $4 processing fee, $17 tourism promotion fee, lasts for 2 years, so fingers crossed I'll manage to get a trip out of it. Wait, are you outside the US? Interesting. And Polestar Elmo deleting tweets he made saying Trump is in the files, so we're seeing government shutdown Wednesday? Yeah, because then it was revealed that Elon was in the files. And he's like, oh, I never went to the island. Well, Elon, you also said you never had phone calls with Putin, and you lied about that. There's email communication between Elon and Jeffrey, and they released emails. Obviously, he was doing kung fu classes with Ghislaine Maxwell. Kimball Musk's wife was introduced to him by Ghislaine. It was rumored that one of Elon's girlfriends was introduced to him by Ghislaine and Jeffrey. So, yeah, he's trying to get back in again, and he's like doing a whole bunch of retweeting of white supremacists all over again. And you know what? Just don't buy Teslas. Don't buy anything with, block every advertiser on Twitter if you're using Twitter. Just don't let them get any money out of you. Rev Studios, happy birthday, Houston. How will it work with the warrants and the average cost when we exercise them? Will it reflect the $30 price of whatever the actual price is when we do it? Yes, if the price is $40 and you exercise the warrant, you will get that share for $32, so you'll make an $8 profit if you want it. So that's what it is. Just like a call option, except for one share rather than 100 shares. So you will get those shares for $32. Basat Baman, happy birthday, HW. His October 3rd hype date is starting to get to me. Make it end already. I think the hype date we need to do is tomorrow, because tomorrow is the second anniversary of the change of control for DK Butterfly. And if any news is going to happen, it should happen tomorrow. So is where we are. October 3rd is just the date of record for your shares getting the warrants. I don't think there's, that's just data record, whatever, things happen. I think the distribution will be a big deal. I guess we'll just have to kind of see where it's all going. But Polestar also says, some guy apparently has Mike Johnson's Grindr profile and somehow his IP address used for it. And if he doesn't swear in the new rep, he's going to release it by Wednesday. Weird stuff. Yeah, I 100% believe that Mike Johnson is on Grindr. He's a weirdo. He's definitely weird. So yeah, I would love to see it. I'd love to see him swear in the new rep and still have it released, because why not? Murph Studios, Trump sends the goon squads to Portland and the rainy season starts. Hopefully they brought their ponchos and rakes. Yep, just started raining outside today after it being 70 and gorgeous for days on end. Trump apparently is going to be at the big meeting of the generals now. He wants to go and give a speech. He's going to go demand their loyalty because he can't help himself. Do you see him tweeting about all the 24 karat gold in the Oval Office now and how amazing it is and wonderful? And it's like, no, sign of success for America. It's all gold. Meanwhile, this current budget, if they pass it, is going to end up costing you about $3,000 a month for health insurance. So can you imagine paying $36,000 a year to be insured? Cool. Awesome. Per person. That's the other part. Per person. So it only costs us like $12,000-$15,000 a year to treat everybody in America. So if you're going to be spending that much money on health insurance, then it's just going to be profit for insurance companies at this point. Like I said, murder all insurance companies. Just drown them in a bathtub and start over with 100% covered everybody, socialized medicine all the way. Universal healthcare. Just do it. Mr. JJ, are your pets telepathically connected to you? And was the hellfire bouncing off a UFO just a balloon? Finally, is there a chance the Earth is flat? Earth's not flat. No chance. Possibly a balloon. The parallax thing makes sense to me. And pets are not telepathically connected to you, although dogs are really good at reading facial features and seeing your face and determining that. Cats do sometimes seem like they want to comfort you when you're like really shitty. They're like, hey buddy, everything's gonna be all right. Brrr, feed me. But no, I don't think the pets are telepathically connected to us. Sometimes sommelier, if you had $1,000, would you buy calls or warrants? Warrants. When the warrants come out, I'm taking all the cash I have and I'm doing nothing but buying warrants with it. I'm going to buy up as many warrants as I possibly can. And that's what I'm going to do. So, thoughts on RC and ML separately if no merger acquisition by October 3rd? They better have something up their sleeve because people are getting really impatient. Really, really, really impatient. They can't keep stringing everybody along and expect folks to be cool with it. They're gonna have to do something, anything, to truly make the big play. And we see what can be signs that a big play is coming. But if we keep missing hype dates and nothing happens, people are a lot of them at the end of the rope. They can't hold on much longer. They're going to have to sell what they have in order to pay for their lives, especially if all of a sudden health insurance shoots up to $3,000 a month. There's no way anybody's going to be able to invest anything ever again if that's the case. That sucks up all the discretionary income of the average wage earner and then some. That means they're going to have to cut back on investing, on 401ks, on retirement, on vacations, on games, because they can't afford anything else. So they really, really, really need this thing to happen sooner than later. So make it happen, guys. Make it happen. Got some green things popping up here. Juice Mammy, let's do some lurker fishing. Attending Oneness, Logic Dustbin, Redbeard Rob, Victor, and Len Hernandez. I think you got two of them in there, Julius. And then GDC does it. Corey Jones, Brian Zayas, Christy Edmondson, A Passing Cloud, and Ren Linville. I think you got 3 in there. Nice job. There's 5 lurkers. We had a 50% on lurkers on that one. And the lurker fishing. Excellent. I like it. Okay. Did I miss any super chats there? Got that. Okay. All right. So go through Polestar. Go through sometimes Sommelier. ECB, WestJet Airlines now charging for reclining seats. I'm okay with airlines that don't have reclining seats. I'm tall. Reclining seats hurt me. And so I'm okay with airlines not having reclining seats at all, or only allowing seats to recline if there's no one sitting behind you. That's my thing. I do not recline my seat on a plane because I know what it's like to have a seat smash into you and smash your knees, and it sucks. So, yeah, they can charge for the reclining seat, but you'll catch these hands for free. if you recline into me. All right. Mr. JJ, when are you starting work on your autobiography? I wrote a chunk of autobiography about going to school in Hawaii. It was more like a funny travel book, but then I got distracted by grad school and stuff, and I never finished it. Maybe someday I'll pick that up and do it again. All right, dude? Yeah. Turkish. Where's the money, Hustowski? Time to feed Monkey Butt and Fat Cat some stanky treats. Well, we got some treats. How about we do one of these guys right here? Oh, do you hear that again? Yeah? Here, I'll give you this one. I'll give a little one to the doofus over here and see if he actually eats it. Will he actually eat this? Okay. Well, you have to put it right there. Cat has no idea how to eat a treat. It is the most useless thing. I can put a delicious piece of meat. Look at it right there, Monkey. See that? It's right there. I'm gonna take it from the cat. It's right. See? See that? It's right there. Get it. Get it. Get it. Cat's not gonna eat it. So you better. Get it, Monkey. Get it. It's right there. It's right there. Get it. It'll just sit there until you do something about it. Okay. What are you looking at me for? It's right there. It's in the cat zone. You have to go get it. Come on. Dude, it's right there. See it? It's right there. It's right next to cat. You have to get over your racism and go get the treat from the cat. All right. Fred Jones. Maybe we can stop pumping hype dates that the extreme right wing of GME come up with. I mean, what else are we going to do? We just sit here and look at hype dates pass by. And it's like a hobby for us at this point. We just wait and wait and wait and wait. Someday something's going to have to happen. And, everyone just wants it to be as soon as possible, including this guy. And it just isn't. And then time marches on. And we sit here and we do 705 shows. And we'll do 705 more. And then soon I'll be like graying and bald and saggy, wrinkly face. And I'll be sitting here with still Zach's poster behind me because no one's offered up to do a new one in like 6 months. And that's where we'll be. So get used to it. Just Mammy. Dear Mr. Ryan Cohen, enough with the jigsaw puzzle and do it already. Signed Blue Ball Syndrome Investor. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll call my holding company. I'll call it Blue Balls Holding. Chris Taylor, hey, Houston, in chat. Happy Monday. Are we there yet? Nope. And Joe's Man says, where's there? Huge unit. Happy birthday, Houston Man. Nope. Jokes on you every day is hype day. Mm-hmm. Fred Jones, because they never write about anything anyway. No, they never are. We're never right about anything ever. And that's where it is. Turkish Nice Nothing Burger coming up. Nothing Burger is the best burger. Not even getting crumbs at this point. And Stuart, Houston, any news about Rosa? What Rosa's been up to? I have not heard from Rosa since she got married, which was a year and a half ago. I don't think she's tweeted since January. Her last tweet was basically saying like, Donald Trump's going to help the people of Gaza. And no, he's not. And he never will. He's going to build a luxury resort. If you saw the video that came out today with Jared Kushner talking about basically raising all of Gaza and building luxury resorts along the waterfront, turning it into a tourist destination. So, there's that. I'd love to hear from her. I don't know what she's been doing. I think she, her law work is really busy and she's doing a lot of work to help folks in Gaza. And she's got the married life. I have no idea what's going on. I haven't heard from her since April of last year was the last time I heard from her. Then we got to do nub triple intro hype. Intro's off. We're good. Fred Jones, Kathy Wood, if Kathy could. Oh, Kathy Wood. I pointed out earlier today on the internet, the Kathy Wood's true genius, is like sucking money out of evangelicals and just lighting it on fire. I don't know how ARC gets any more investors, but she gets them. They come in, they just give like their entire congregation's money over, and she just like lights it on fire, and that's it. Mr. JJ update on Highcroft mine. I really want to invest in a mine. I don't think Highcroft's doing shit. They have not built a metallurgical site yet. Highcroft mining. Anything new in the Highcroft mining world? News. Highcroft announces closing a $60 million private placement. Highcroft announces potential feeder identified in Brimstone Geophysics. Highcroft announced a $60 million non-broker private placement. Highcroft announced second quarter 10Q provides corporate update. So they're getting investments, doing some drilling. They can do all the drilling in the world they want, but until they build a metallurgical site, they aren't going to be able to capitalize on anything they have there. So, okay, let's see what they have. Their 10Q. Option, okay, that doesn't matter. Show me what money you have here. Exploration, they're doing lots of exploring, technical studies, lots of technical studies. Cautionary fiction, they got nothing to report. They ain't doing shit. If you're gonna invest in a mining company, go for like one of the giant ones. You know, Xstrata. I think Xstrata's private though. You know, Rio Tinto, Barrick, like the big mining companies that actually produce things, because they all passed over on this land and they're like, no, that's not worth it. Because the cost of building a metallurgical plant is so great that it might go under before they can realize any profits from mining those things. So Highcroft really, really, really needs to build a metallurgical plant. And yeah. Continue metallurgical and variability test work for pressure oxidation and roasting of sulfide concentrate with results expected mid-summer. Well, it will be incorporated in the next technical report expected in the fourth quarter. So basically they're saying they're experimenting with ways to roast sulfide auriferous gold and auriferous material and get the gold out of it without having to use expensive chemical processes. Good luck. Good luck. Regardless, you're still going to need a giant plant that can process all that ore, and your facility that's like 5,000 square feet is not going to do it. I think I've showed the pictures before of like what a sulfide metallurgical plant looks like in Canada, and we'll do it again because why not? There we go. All right, so we go up to Timmins. Timmins here, right? And this is the metallurgical facility. This is the waste treatment for how much ore they pull out, and then this is the building itself. This is the Kidd Creek metallurgical site. This thing is huge. It is basically a third of a mile across. It's just the buildings, right? So a third of a mile across the buildings. And then we go out to where Highcroft is. Go into Nevada. Go to the Carson Sink. Black Rock Desert, sorry. And we go to the Highcroft mining site, which is this guy, I believe. And their big metallurgical building is this. This is where they process everything. And this building is... Come on. 1/7 the size long. So it is puny patoony. You have to have a whole bunch of processing, just a giant site that's probably needs to be about this big in order, like just the building alone needs to be about this big just to process that material. And then where their waste goes, I mean, heck, these are like their waste ponds. These things are teeny tiny. They're just not going to be able to process the amount of material they need out of that with anything they have in that teeny little building you cannot see from space. You can see the Timmins building from space, basically. So yeah, they don't have a lot going on. Jungle Road looking at Winnemucca. What does that look like? Little ghost towns out there. Little old miners' cabins along the way. That's cool. I always appreciate that stuff. Anyway, yeah, so they really need to invest about $1 billion or more into building a big facility. Until then, they're just going to be like picking over, trying to find the high yield gold in a place that has nothing but stuff stuck in sulfur, and so it ain't happening. Oh crap! I left the other one. Well, it's a double intro day for you. How about that, monkey? It's still right there, monkey. It's still right there. Look, you haven't done anything about it. It's right there. The cat is just staring at it. He's just staring at it. It's right there. Okay. Did I turn off the other one? I did not. Let's do that. Okay. Where am I? Did that one. Did the Highcroft Mine one. Snurler says, oi. Brandon Wilson, sup, BBBY. I don't know. Brian Andrews. Hey, Houston. I haven't been around in a while. Got promoted, been working hard, but we have had a 3-eye Atlas convo yet. Are we going to be visited by aliens? Also, Cymatics, can you provide knowledge? No, we're not going to be visited by aliens from the comet that's blown past the sun. Cymatics, I don't know what that is. What is Cymatics? Cymatics. Serum, preset, sample packs, and more? Cymatics. Ancient Greek, Romanized subset of modal vibration phenomena. Cymatics by Nigel Sanford. Honest opinion of Cymatics. Their free drum, one shot, and plugins are nice. That must be a company. I don't know Cymatics, so I cannot provide any knowledge as to what this is. Looks like Cymatics is a company that makes sound stuff for like techno people go. Beyond that, Wikipedia. Ancient Greek modal vibration phenomena term was coined by Swiss physician Hans Jenny. Typically, the surface of a plate, diaphragm, or membrane is vibrated and regions of maximum and minimum displacement are made visible in thin coating of particles. Oh, this is when the particles bounce in the air on a speaker. Okay. All right. That stuff's cool. Things like that guy. Things like this.
Chladni discovered that when he spread sand on metal plates
plate or speaker,
and then vibrated the plates with a violin bow,
so turn on the speaker,
the sand arranged itself into patterns. Different geometrical forms appeared depending on the vibration produced.
There you go. Cool. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to talk about with that, but yeah. This is wavelengths, baby. They do their thing. Wavelengths do their thing. So, cool. Right. Here's doing Cymatics, some sort of bubbly stuff. Water, some kind, I guess. I don't know. How do I close this? I go there. Neat. Okay. It's maybe next Monday will be Merger Monday after warrants are issued by people like you. Well, maybe. Well, just got the fingers crossed. J-Dog, go Mariners. Legendary in the making. Ford ZZ9, any Scuttlebug on the Pete Brass meeting tomorrow. Someone leaked, apparently last night, what the meeting is going to be all about, or the more subtle things. I don't think you bring in every single solitary general and admiral from 1 star through 4, Joint Chiefs, everybody, to talk about grooming standards. I think you are bringing them all together to basically figure out who's with you and who's against you. And by who's with you, the people willing to sell their souls to give their loyalty to Trump, and who's against you, the people who, their oath is to the Constitution of the United States of America and not to a single man. And that's my guess of what that's all for. The folks who refuse to give their loyalty to Trump, they'll be relieved of their command. Junior officers or junior flag officers, captains and colonels, the ones that they hunted down, that they know that they're going to be loyal, they'll promote them into their positions. And, if a 1 star is willing to do it, that 1 star may find themselves a 4 star all of a sudden. Things like that. So, I think it's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. And it's going to be an incredibly tense security-wise, because you have all of the flag officers you've got the president and the Secretary of Defense all in one spot, and not enough time for anybody to do any security considerations for it. So, All right. Polestar, what's the value of the Knowles? 5 billion-ish? My guess is they're more than that, because the Knowles just for 2022 were 1.6 billion. The losses for 2023 were like 2.3 billion. So that gives us about 4 billion right there. And then from 2018 through 2022 was about $1 billion a year. So that adds another, another 4+ billion to that. So looking at 8 billion plus. My guess is probably closer to 10. Was what the total value of the Knowles would be, but we never saw any calculations about that. The only thing they calculated was 2022's, and that's it. Oh, are you a little dog in your ear scratch? Is you liking that? Is that what you like? Oh, ear hole. Oh, you got it. Good job. Way to go. You did it. Yay. I didn't even notice. Somebody must have got that in can. Trump says 2 trillion. Just remind me. Bad Bunny announcement causing MAGA to lose their shit. Yeah, MAGA's losing their mind because Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl performer. They're like, he doesn't even have a song in English. Creed should be the performer. I don't even know who Bad Bunny is. I'll be honest. The electronic was a reggaeton that Bad Bunny does. Not my style. But I understand that people appreciate it. He's got 100 million YouTube subscribers and 99 million downloads and blah, blah, blah. He's one of the biggest stars in the entire world. And he seems like a genuinely good dude. Definitely autistic. Why are you being so weird, dog? Why are you being so weird? Seriously, why be? No, you can't be so expectant. It's not a Charity Tuesday show. He can't be doing that. And they're like, we need someone from America. Not realizing that Puerto Rico is part of America. They're just so soft. All of them are just such delicate little flowers. Absolutely. The things that make them mad are, oh my gosh, someone speaks Spanish can be at my America show. Meanwhile, ICE is out there beating American citizens unconscious and then detaining them, even though it's illegal for them to detain people. Like, the minute you can prove your citizenship to someone from ICE, they have to leave you alone. They can't arrest you for anything. They have to get outside law enforcement whose purview is to deal with American citizens to do something to you. Right? So, you can fuck with ICE all day long, and they still can't arrest you for anything. They've got to have an outside law enforcement person come in and bust you for whatever it is. So, not the MAGA people don't care about that. They don't care about American citizens being harassed and beaten by ICE people. They're mad that somebody from Puerto Rico is going to sing for 9 minutes at the Super Bowl. Oh no! Oh, heaven forbid. They're just such delicate little flowers. They have no idea what hardship is or what an outrage actually is. They see someone with browner skin than yours and they just lose their minds. It's pathetic. It's so pathetic. If the only thing you've got to be proud of is your white skin, you've done nothing with your life worth being proud of. Guess what kind of vagina I slithered out of? That's the best thing I've ever done in my life. Woo! It's dumb. But yeah, they're losing their minds and I find it hilarious. Polestar, 100% tariff on movies. Sure, why not? I know Trump's doing 100% tariff on prescription drugs while saying he's going to cut the price of prescription drugs. So, if you want to save the film industry, you just do what Canada does, which you require 30% of all the folks on the radio, all the folks on television, all the movies in theaters to be made in America. That's it. Star a certain number of Americans in each film, and you just save the film industry right there. But instead, Marvel is laying off 20,000 people and moving to Germany because they realize that the film industry is so much bigger around the world than it is just in America. Sure, you did $100 million at the theaters in America. You did $1 billion elsewhere in the world. So you're going to focus on that rather than just on the U.S. So, Polestar watched the new South Park? I did watch the new South Park. Matt and Trey do not give a fuck. they're trying to get the Trump administration after them, and they're trying so hard. And I think that all they're going to do is just ramp it up more and more. Here's Houston. You're spot on about Jeffries. He's not doing anything for us. Hakeem Jeffries, yeah, he's not doing shit. He is a limp milquetoast leader. We need somebody with some chutzpah in there. J-Dog, what time is the Astros game? Bye-bye. Yeah, nice. May 2026. Jason Blackwell. Yeah, Houston. Why is Elon so good at Rubik's Cube? His family has a long history of separating colors. Do you see the bombshell that Errol Musk is a kid diddler and diddled all his stepkids? He was like, there's no way I'd do that. And then he impregnated his stepdaughter with twice. Yeah, dude, we know you did that stuff. Hazley, because Elon's a freak. BW Brand, just expect the worst and you'll still be surprised. Yeah. Tia Futavong, Biden doesn't get enough praise, in my opinion. Biden himself was not particularly charismatic. I don't think he was a particularly good president. What Biden did is what any good manager should do, which is hire the best and trust them to do their jobs. He isn't out there nitpicking and, doing that stuff, micromanaging. He just hired really, really good people, really, really, really competent people to run the agencies in the U.S., to be in the cabinet, and just trusted them to do their job. Where he failed was thinking you could preserve the norms in an environment like this. And you have to gird yourself against the deterioration of the norms by doing things like packing the Supreme Court so that the Supreme Court doesn't destroy this country, which is basically what they're going for. They're going to destroy this country as best they can. And that's kind of what we're facing at the moment. So you need to pack the Supreme Court. You need to go after all the actual enemies of democracy and not have... I guess the worst pick was AG. Garland sucked. He's like Hakeem Jeffries of lawyers. We need to have somebody who would move a lot quicker, be a lot more brutal, bring stuff to trial a lot faster than what we had. And him not acting fast enough on Trump and getting things to trial before the election is all his fault. And so, yeah, we definitely needed someone better in that reign. But when it came to, staving off economic ruin, Biden did a magnificent job. Kudos. So many times during that period, I thought, this is going to be the first major recession under a Democrat in 50 years. But no, he managed to somehow, pull out, the Inflation Reduction Act and pass infrastructure bills and get manufacturing growing at a pace that has not done so since World War II. Kudos for him. He was a doddering old man, though, and that, does not play well with the masses, even though most of your cabinet is doing a really good job. So yeah, he needs praise for that. That's for sure. Polestar, EA being bought for $55 billion by Saudis and Jared Kushner. They're going after games now too. Oh, 100%. They're going to make some really terrible games that have really crappy messaging. You'll notice you'll have conservative people like Clint Eastwood, or let's say Bruce Willis, or Schwarzenegger, or Stallone, or Adam Sandler, like folks that are Republicans, right? In all of their movies, the bad guys are still Republicans. They on their personal level, they vote Republican, but if you watch their movies, the bad guys are racist, do environmental damage, country club members, extremists. That's who they have to make the bad guys in their films, because That's who the bad guys are in real life. You don't have good movies, I'm talking good movies, where, it's like, God and country, I'm up against a whole bunch of these, horrible leftist environmentalists. It just doesn't work that way. Even Ben Shapiro's first movie, remember Ben Shapiro did this whole Daily Wire production company. His first movie was about this girl who's all raised by her daddy to learn how to shoot guns, right? And she single-handedly Bruce Willis's her way through a whole bunch of incel dweeb, black wearing goons who were shooting up the school. And it's like, Ben, those school shooters, those are your followers. Those are the people who watch your podcasts and read your articles, man. And they don't like the fact that a girl is the hero in a movie because she's supposed to be barefoot in the kitchen. You're all about not empowering women. So you made a movie where a woman destroys a whole bunch of your podcast viewers. Good job, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, they're going to make some really terrible games. They're just going to get worse and worse. Where to Wander. Hello, chat. Where to Wander. That would destroy the state of Israel. I'm not sure which one that is. EA Sports? I don't know. Geski. Dude literally fears to use the word Israel. You may wonder why. But Russia over and over again. Who are you talking about? Which dude? Hakeem Jeffries? Polestar. Tesla's still going up regardless if people are buying the cars or not. Yeah, Elon borrowed $1 billion, bought $1 billion in shares. Tesla price went up 7%. He generated $27 billion in wealth for himself out of that. Even though Tesla sales are down 45% globally and no longer have the best-selling car, and they had to cancel 2 of their car lines, and the semi's a failure, and there's going to be no Roadster and no cheap car, and Robotaxi sucks, and they have more deaths per highway mile than any other vehicle manufacturer, and twice as much as the average. So yeah, they're but hey, if you do get a crash accident and you live, at least you'll burn to death because you can't open the doors. King Ding Dong talking about Saudi money buying up EA Sports. It's Silver Lake. No, Silver Lake is a part of a lot of this stuff. Jared Kushner and the Saudis are buying it up. $55 billion. There was somebody that bought a boatload of call options. 0-day expiration. It turned $2,000 into $900,000 or something like that. Nice job on that person. Hot Pocket Rebel. Are you buying any BPPY shares or warrants, or just GME warrants when they become available? I have not decided. I've not decided at all. How many total shares outstanding are there of total shares outstanding? There is. So currently they're valued at 539 million. And why don't you give me the shares outstanding? Change. So I guess I gotta do the math. 923 divided by 539 million divided by 923. Where's my calculator? Calculator. So 539 6200 divided by 923. 9.23. Okay. So there's 58 million shares of Bed Bath & Beyond. So let's say they do a buyout, and Jamie takes a chunk of that money and buys out Bed Bath & Beyond, and they do so at a price above $15.50. They do it for $16. Let's say they buy out for $16. So times 16 would mean it would cost $935 million for GameStop to buy out Bed Bath & Beyond. If they want to pay off their debt, it would cost $1.1 billion or somewhere around there, $1.2 billion to pay off all their debt. So they'd still have $8 billion or so cash on hand after all that. It's a pretty good purchase. You say, hey, we're going to buy it at $16. All those warrants could be executed, right? Because they're in the money. And you get all that IP, you get T0, you get all that stuff. Seems like kind of a no-brainer to me. And their revenue is going to go up because they got Kirkland now, and they can actually have like stores again and start selling products because no one's going to go online to buy towels. I don't think that's such a bad idea. Herm. Okay. Trump is turning into gold mode from Austin Powers. I love gold. Yeah. He's always loved gold. Look at old magazine spreads of him in his apartments. Oh, dude, it's so tacky. Everything he thinks is attractive is like the tackiest thing in the world. Oh, I missed a couple super chats. I'm so sorry. Let me get those before I run away. Where to Wander, can you explain why insurance is going up? Thanks. Basically, subsidies and price controls on all that are going to get eliminated in this Republican budget. So you're going to be paying full price for everything. And that's why. And GDC says, shout out GDC Squad. Tell the folks that just got memberships. Fantastic. And Corporate Walnut, real versus lab diamonds. If you want perfect diamonds, lab diamonds. Chemically, there's no difference between them. There is a level of romance people have about like something the earth made itself in natural processes. And some people like having like little inclusions in their diamonds because it reminds them it came from the earth. But there's gonna be no chance of slave labor involved in lab diamonds. There's no, digging giant holes in the earth for no reason but for things that are shiny. And yeah. So if you want cheap, get a lab created one. You can get some really fine diamonds, really nice diamonds, really shiny diamonds. And you just don't have to tell people it's lab created. Be like, yes, it's a perfect diamond from Earth. And they'll be cool with it. I prefer just going out and dig your own diamonds, because why not? That's sexier than anything. I dug this out of the earth with my own 2 hands. So, it's time for me to go. I want you folks to have a good day. I will see you tomorrow for yet another hype date disappointment. And, I do have a party kit available for when the good stuff happens. And this room will be a party room. But it's not going up until the good news happens. So it's just going to sit there in a box waiting for the good news. Okay. Peace. I'm out. I'll catch you guys later. And shaboing. Right, dog? Right,